We're on a roll.
Yes, sir. This is what, four, five in a row, four in a row, four in a row, 4 weeks.
Yeah,
Here
yeah,
we
yeah.
are again.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all.
It's the best of both worlds of wrestling podcast. I am Chris.
And I'm Khalil. Happy to be here.
Yes, sir. Let's jump right
Um,
into the business this evening.
yeah, man. Exciting time like it has been for the last couple years in pro wrestling.
hmm A mini
This week,
wrestling boom.
yeah. Um, this week we have the completed sale slash merge of the WWE and the UFC into TKO Holdings LLC, and they
hmm
went public. I think it was on Monday. Tuesday, actually. Sorry, because Monday was the last Raw of the McMahon solely McMahon life era, and
Yeah, yeah.
so Tuesday was they opened on New York Stock Exchange, and Bianca Belair took some time away from her vacation to pop out with the
hmm
hubs and
Ring
shake
that
hands
bell.
and kiss babies, and yeah, man, end of an era, start of a new one. Exciting times, I think most would say. Uh,
Yeah.
People
Seen
seem excited.
Vince out there looking. Son, Vince's hair has never been that dark in his life. The man out there looking like Clark Gable and shit,
This is
man.
not a midnight life crisis. It's like a late life crisis what's
Yeah,
happening right now.
it's crazy. And he's committed to the look though. He's committed to it.
I think him being out there was by design too. I mean, obviously he is the face of that
Yeah,
company, but
yeah,
people was like, "Yo, he had life changing spinal surgery." Everyone's like, "What does he look like? Is it Kenny Wall?" This brother, my man's out here like he looks regular. He looks like
yeah.
Vince fucking McMahon.
hmm
Has
And
good
let the people
energy.
know.
Like he seems perfectly healthy right now. So I mean, shout out to him. But yeah,
And
yeah.
listen,
Start off with that.
was he a $9 billion? That's what it was, right?
Yeah, man. It took his father's 100, sorry, $1 million loan, which I'll let you know. I have a book here. I think the author's name is Tim Hornbaker. The
hmm
name of the book is called Death of the Territories. And the book is essentially about Vince's strategic moves to, buy out certain territories to build the empire and everything, how everything began.
Yeah.
Part of how everything began was, yes, his pops loaned him this $1 million, but the deal was whenever he had whatever intervals at which he had to pay him the money, if he didn't have the money at that point, part of the contract was his pops could take the shit back.
Oh, okay.
And he
So
had
he
to
was
find
hustling.
ways every time he had to pay him whatever he was owed based on their schedule to make sure he
hmm
had that money for him when the time came. So it's not so much, how we look at some of these, let's call it what we call it. Like we look at some white people and think everything's super privileged,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
yes, it is a privilege to have someone loan you $1 million to do something with. That's a privilege. But it wasn't like do this and like we'll see what happens. The pops was like, yo, if I don't see nothing from it, or if you can't pay me back what I threw you, it's mine again. And so this
yeah.
dude had to really prove himself. So to take it from that to what we have here, you said $9 billion.
Insane. Insane. That would reinvigorate anybody. I'd be skipping to the stock exchange knowing that she was final. Like, woo, that bank
That's
account is quite comfy.
yeah, that's madness, man. But
hmm
you
But
know,
it's also another step for that WWE's taken into the entertainment world. So you're gonna definitely see some UFC WWE crossover. I'm expecting.
mhm.
So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy how commodified the wrestling business is compared to
Yeah,
like what it started out as. Like I don't think in the early 1900s, no one knew the heights wrestling could go to. Because
because
granted, it wasn't feasible, but still.
the universal the universal, I guess, language in this world is money.
Hmm.
So if you're a public company, it don't matter what type of company you, if you're generating revenue, people are gonna be
Yep.
interested.
Yep.
And the fact
Turning
that
that
they are
profit.
more an entertainment based company, and even if you're a sporting company, like a seen as like a competitive sport, you are
Hmm.
also in the entertainment business. So once they could get past that, and we could all get past what's scripted and what's not, and we can just figure
Yeah.
out how we can work together to grow, then I see where the opportunity to grow is and why that made sense. I never thought I'd see the day either, because in the early UFC days, the pre-Dana White days, it was like they would scoff
Woo.
at WWE.
Yes. Like that bitch.
Although there's several, maybe most WWE talent make more than these UFC fighters.
Oh,
Maybe
100%.
like even
I
if it's not even if you're even like not even known as much or whatever, like
like
please.
I'll say this. I could confidently say the bottom of the roster of the WWE makes more than the bottom of the roster in UFC. Like I
And
could
it's probably
confidently
been
say
that
that.
way for decades. It's probably been that way for 20 years.
Hmm. And I don't think it's gonna change anytime soon.
Or else Kim Shamrock would have stayed, or he never would have went, or whatever the
Yeah.
case. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Put him in the Hall of Fame if they ever hear this. He deserved to be in the Hall of Fame. That dude was good.
Hell yeah.
That dude was good.
Hell yeah.
I love me some Ken Shamrock.
It should be coming soon. That could probably be like the first induction after this merger.
We'll see, man. I think
So it'll be like a
I'm sure
symbolic.
Vince has a hand in that choice. I hope Triple
Mhm.
H is seen. I mean, yeah, bro, get these guys that still look like they in shape and still look alive, and with
Yeah.
some oomph to them. Let them get in there.
Yeah, let's
You
hope
know,
Triple H has that mentality. Let's get the guys from my era locked
I
and loaded
agree.
into the Hall of Fame now. Like, let's get some more attitude era dudes.
I don't see why not. I'm glad the Steiners went in when they went in, but they could barely move. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So let's get some
Yeah,
of these other dudes up in there. But that's kind of their fault too. I heard that they turned it. Oh, Scott turned it down mad time. So that's another
yeah,
thing.
cause
But
yeah, Scott being stubborn because Scott, I think he's low key still partially active.
all
Like
right.
I'm pretty sure I've seen him wrestle in the last 2 to 3 years.
I know he got hurt recently and had to chill. I don't know what had happened to
Mm.
him. He got sick or something like that. He was on NWA Power for a little bit. And I was hyped.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what it was. That's what it was.
Yeah, then he got hurt or something, and then there was a wrap for a bit. I don't know if he's still doing it now, but shout out to all the shareholders and everything, man. Big day for all y'all, man. I used to have some WWE stock.
Oh,
I didn't keep it long.
I got a coworker who has it. He's like, "Yo, buy it, man, buy it." And I'm like,
It's way
I
too
think
much
it's
now. So that shit
yeah. I was like, it's too late.
since Vince left, that shit been sky high, bro. Like it's like
Hmm.
$100. I'm like, I guess
Hmm. And I think he bought it. I think he bought it during the pandemic.
yeah, I bought mine. I think a little bit before the pandemic. I bought mine for like
Yeah,
$38 or $40,
yeah,
just to mess around with the app, just to mess around, see how I could work with it. But then I got rid of it. I was like, all right, that's enough.
yeah,
I was impatient. You gotta be patient. You gotta set it and forget it.
yeah. Word.
You know what I mean? But I'll tell you what caught my eye last night. I got in the evening. I'm up late usually.
Hmm.
I catch a tweet from the uh the legendary now Sean Ross Sapp, the polarizing Sean Ross Sapp.
Yes,
And
yes.
it's like the Elmo meme when he's like, or the Elmo gif when he there's fire all around.
Yeah, like when it's a Woj bomb usually
So I said,
for
what
the
the fuck is going on
NBA.
here? So I start scrolling. I see a little bit of buzz from a couple of other, wrestling fans I follow that, have a following and, so I'm like, what's
Hmm.
happening here? And I start seeing this one, her name is Stephanie. I can't remember her to the name off top, so my fault. But she's showing like potential matchups for Jade Cargill in the WWE. And I'm like, well, what
Yes,
sparked that? So I was like, what's
yes,
Sean talking about? And
yes.
then so I go look at Sean page and he's like, yeah, man, seems like, and with this smoke, this I don't, hey man,
Yeah.
I don't think he's lying. And so
Ooh,
he said
listen.
that she might be wrapped up with AEW soon. And I'm gonna tell you something funny.
Hmm.
I had the opportunity to interview Jade last May or June. Last summer I
Hmm.
interviewed Jade Cargill for my day job. I didn't get her on camera, but we spoke. and I asked her certain questions so that in response you could kind of see between the lines. And I asked her about
Yeah,
like
yeah.
why AEW and what was the benefit to her being there. And partially she said because Mark Henry discovered her and put
Hmm.
her on. She had loyalty to that. But I think she also enjoyed, she said she had the freedom to do other things and do other endeavors there with
Yeah,
AEW. And I think that part of the WWE culture is beginning to shift, has been shifting for the last couple of years, especially with Triple H having more voice in
yeah,
talent
yeah,
relations and shit like that. And so she made that point and she didn't want uh limits put or placed on the amount of the ability to make more money doing
yeah,
other things.
yeah,
And and I also felt because she has a young daughter, I also felt that this is not her saying this. I just felt like the AEW schedule probably was better for her at the time. Maybe she wanted to be with around her daughter a little bit more as she was
hmm,
younger. And when you were the WWE man, you on the road, man.
yeah,
And
yeah,
you're not, you're on the road differently with AEW. You're on the road with non-televised events as well. Like it's a whole thing that you're doing. You're selling the product at all times. So I feel like those are her reasons for not wanting to go. But I'll tell you right now, not a bone in my body thought she would never go. I always
Oh no, no. I think that's one of the most inevitable things.
I
Like when you look
I
at someone and see they're tailor made for WWE, she's at the top of the list. But I will tell you why. So here's the interesting thing about this. So last week, like literally a week ago yesterday, she had an interview um like praising Tony Khan and saying that's why I'll always be there. But like basically like she made it seem like she wasn't leaving, at least not now, anytime soon.
mm-hmm,
And so and then she makes her return Saturday on Collision to confront Chris Statlander. So I'm like, all right, Jay's coming back, boom, boom, boom. So I get home last night and I was reading Rampage spoilers for Friday night. And
mm-hmm.
spoiler alert, that's enough time for people to pause and not get spoiled. All right, spoiler alert, Jade and Chris have a rematch for the TBS title and Statlander wins. So I was thinking, okay, this is to help solidify Statlander's reign, and they're probably going to start moving Jade towards the main title.
Doing the
And then,
honors.
and literally, I read those results at like 12:30 last night, and then a half hour later,
That's around the time I won that shit last week.
Twitter's blowing up, and I'm like, what? Sean Ross Sapp is reporting Jade might be going from AEW, and that the feeling in WWE and AEW is that she's going to be WWE bound. So
I feel like Mr.
yeah,
Burns, man.
I was surprised because of the interview she just had a week ago. The fact that she just returned a few days ago, and I didn't think. I knew, like I said, I always knew she would be going to WWE, but I didn't think it would be before she got a world or a top of the level run in AEW. Like I always assume it's going to be let her do what everything she can in AEW, and then she's going to go to WWE and then spend the rest of her career in WWE. That's how I always assumed in my mind it was going to go.
I thought the same.
Yeah,
I don't know what got into AEW. They should, I mean,
I mean this could all be a negotiation tactic too to get that bread up.
they could do that, bro. She's going
Yeah,
to at some point she will,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's gonna be beautiful. And the best thing they did for Jade and AEW, honestly, man, I think her theme music is cool. I think that shit would translate to
Hmm.
any promotion. Keep that shit. But
Yeah.
otherwise, they should have made her a star. I don't understand why there wasn't, you know, the same way Oscar came to main roster and didn't get beat for the NXT title is the
Hmm.
same way I think you could have Jade vacate the TBS title and be like, "Yo, man,
Yeah.
y'all got nothing left for me at this level. I'm going to fucking Dynamite, and I'm gonna, kill it over there." I don't know why that wasn't part of the plan. I don't know if they thought
Mm.
she needed more seasoning, but I'll tell you what. At the end of the day, all you need is for people to care, and people care
Yeah.
about you. And I think they care
Yeah.
about Jade more than they care about a lot of the women on the AEW roster. It doesn't mean that they can't wrestle. It just means that people are not invested in the characters.
Hmm.
That's but their style, I have to accept that their style is just different. Daniel Bryan came out, did a promo, said I want to wrestle who they say is the best, Zack Sabre Jr. That works in AEW.
Yeah.
That don't work in WWE. Like what they do in AEW, sort of like I go to your house to play Street Fighter, and you choose somebody, and I'll choose somebody I think makes it interesting for your guy to face, and that's it.
Hmm. Yeah.
There's no story.
Yeah.
It just, oh, this will be
Yeah.
interesting. That's how they do it, and I
Yeah.
have
But I
to
think that's
accept.
unique for Daniel Bryan too. Like he's a very unique case, and the point that he is, I think, because the one thing, the one weird, well, not weird, but the one interesting thing about his run in AEW is how he's basically he doesn't want to be world champion. And not that he needs it for his legacy, but I just thought it was interesting that like you still have the talent and cachet to carry this company or to be the face of this company as a champion. He doesn't want to do that. He's in this point of giving back to the business. And like I was reading his interview in Sports Illustrated this week, and he was talking about how he wants to be like Terry Funk. He wants to wrestle whenever he wants, so it could be like maybe I want to wrestle every week, or maybe once every other month, or maybe I might take 2 years off and come back and do a match. But he wants to be that Terry Funk. I'm not really retired. I'm just on my own schedule. If I want to come back, I'm gonna come back.
I
So I
respect
think
that.
that, yeah, I think that's gonna hinder for him specifically the whole having matches with the story behind it. But they are at least building outside of that Zack Sabre Jr. match. They're building a feud between him and Ricky Starks.
Yeah.
Luckily, that
Okay.
like the yeah. So that's still that story's still continuing, thankfully. But yeah, and then Tony
So
Khan's one of the biggest criticisms of Tony Khan's is how he books the women's division in the first place.
yeah, they got look,
So
they got people that are good. So I hope if
mhm.
people hear this, I'm like, I'm not shitting on their abilities. I'm just saying like
Now they
we
could
need some,
definitely have some
some,
more time
we need
and
some feuds. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
some
um,
undercard feuds, some develop some tag teams because you have a numerous you have a I think they have a decent enough size women's roster where they can start developing a tag division, have your undercard singles division, and have your TBS title and then world title things going on. It's just he's not putting in the effort for some reason.
yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Like one match and one interview segment, a show is it? It's cool, but like
I think
that's why
I
one
don't
of
know
the
for
biggest
Athena.
complaints about Athena is like she's having the run of her career and it's only on Ring of Honor.
All right,
And
I have a gripe with that before I go to the next thing.
yeah,
Not with Athena. My thing is with where does Ring of Honor show?
it's you have to subscribe to Honor Club. It's an online thing, subscription based. So it's not
Okay.
even like you go on. I'm not sure if you could go on YouTube. They might put the show up on YouTube after, but it's every Thursday night it streams,
They
and
got to
it's
figure out
like,
a way to market them separately. My opinion,
hmm, yeah,
because I don't like seeing Ring of Honor stuff on AEW TV. I just don't. I don't
yeah,
like the fact that Samoa Joe has a feud with an AEW person, but he is a Ring of Honor champion.
hmm,
It just doesn't make sense to me. It's just like go over there if you that's what you like because look, you showing up, you're failing. Bottom line, you showing up on Dynamite. It doesn't make me go. Oh, let me go to the Honor Club. I'm like, man, I'm not going there. So I'm here to see y'all. Shout out to
yeah.
Athena and everything. It's not a knock on her either. I'm just like, how do I differentiate the brands? Is my point.
Honestly, I don't even think they're trying to like
You got to though.
they
Where's the
they haven't
success in
really
it?
made an attempt to like say like this is diametrically different from
So
AEW.
what
As at this point, it's like a sub division of AEW. But yeah, they got to figure that out. I
if
like
that's the case
it's
though,
yeah,
they got way too many old people holding their belts.
yeah, it's
That's my point. I know it's not
yeah,
your. I know it's not. You're just giving me the info. I'm just like, bro.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Samoa Joe is like your guy, and who else? Who's a champion? Cesaro.
Yeah.
Like I like these
Mhm.
people. I like
Yeah,
them. I'm like,
I think it's because they have long, deep history with Ring of Honor. So it's like these feel like thank you runs because
okay,
Cesaro's never held a world title before then. Even in his initial Ring of Honor run, he was only a tag team champion. So a lot of the
I,
like Tony Khan loves wrestling nostalgia, and like it's his fandom of wrestling can be detrimental sometimes when someone
it
loves wrestling that much. And you see it in the way he books sometimes and the way things he handles situations sometimes. But yeah, man, it's get Athena on the main roster. Like that's what we need. Get Athena
what?
on TV.
Yeah, but all right. What was Cesaro's last title defense?
His last title
Yeah,
defense,
who
it
did he
was
fight?
he fought he fought Pac.
Where?
It was on the Ring of Honor pay-per-view.
Okay.
Yeah. But then he's defending it against Eddie Kingston at Grand Slam next week on Dynamite.
I just feel
So
like I guess they're all AEW talent, but I'm just like,
yeah.
ain't that to me in my head the way it be looking? It's like you taking away from AEW stories in my head.
Hmm.
It's an AEW. Like I don't know. It ain't gonna work. It ain't working for me. And I like all them people you mentioned. I like all of them. Kingston is entertaining. I love Cesaro. I love Samoa Joe. I love Athena. Like, but
Yeah.
my point is like when it's NXT, more than like this run that Becky about to go on is about to be about teaching these younger chicks how to have a big match, essentially,
Hmm.
and show these stories of like, yo, I'm better now than when I first had my run down here, and this is how it needs to be if you want to get to my level. That's the stories going into their matches. I know that's the story going into all them shits, and that's gonna be fine. But
Yeah.
generally speaking, there's nothing but fresh characters in NXT. So it's like I just don't understand how you got all these legacy people holding all these Ring of Honor belts when they were doing fine, weren't they? In terms of like they talent before, it was just a money thing why they
Yeah.
got bought out, right? Like they people still fucked with them, right? Like
Yeah. Because it's like the only thing I could think of is one, thank you runs, and then two, the younger wrestlers who they decide to get those belts. It'll be a huge rub for them because of the people they're beating. But then again, it's on Honor Club or like it's not disseminated to the audience at a level where it would really matter.
you can't see it. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
So
weird, man.
yeah. So here's hoping that they eventually get the little streaming deal with Max, and then you can actually, if you choose to be like to look into Ring of Honor, you don't have to go behind a paywall, pay to subscribe, da da da. Like you have the leisure to just, oh, let me just see, click, let me just watch. I ain't got nothing to do. Let me just stream
That
this
that
real quick and
would
see what's
that would
going
be
on.
nice.
Yeah.
That would be nice. We went on a crazy tangent, but
Yeah.
they're
Well,
just
yeah.
AEW annoys me with some of these things. I watch and support the product, but give me a break.
Mhm.
But a natural segue, very quick segue, a nod to NXT. I think they got over 800,000 viewers watching uh, up against Monday Night Football.
NXT was on Monday.
No, I'm sorry. What was the rating? It was something about, let me see. It was not on a Monday.
Yeah,
NXT
because I
comes
was
on
like,
Tuesday.
yeah, I think they because I was gonna say I wouldn't be surprised. Probably millions of people changed the channel once Aaron Rodgers got hurt. I know
Well,
my heart
yeah,
was broken.
Let's
Us Jets
see.
fans, we can never have nothing nice as Jets fans.
Okay.
Let's see.
Oh, let's
Oh,
see. Oh no, this is old. Hmm. Let's see. Rating Becky Lynch.
yeah, they did 850,000. I think the thing was the overrun did nearly a million. So the Becky match brought in more viewers.
It says it was their highest number for NXT in 3 years.
Yeah, yeah. October 2020 was the last time I got a number that high. Yeah, so the when the match started, Becky and Tiffany had 927,000 viewers, and that by the end of the match, it was over a million. So Beck's the man is a draw. She brought over a million. I'm gonna give her credit for the whole million. and
Maybe I'm
and Tiffany Stratton, I don't watch a lot of NXT, but I peruse their social media so I can see because I'm at
I
work when
like
it's
the
on, so I can
character.
see
I
the
don't watch her in
highlights.
NXT either, but
But like the moves I've seen, she's
she's a star, it
very
looks like.
yeah, yeah, she's gonna be a star. I seen it like she hit a picture perfect swanton. She's you know how old wrestling heads get upset when the younger stars steal their favorites moves, their indie
Yes.
darlings moves. It's been the opposite for her. Her moonsault, the prettiest moonsault ever, is Christopher Daniels' best moonsault ever. And
He's up
it's
there.
been yeah, and it's been met with universal praise. No one's been like, "Oh, this his move." Da, da, da. I was like, "Oh, then when the wrestling fans don't get in they ass about something, that means they love you." Because wrestling fans can get very in they ass about this shit.
Top of your head, give me your five favorite moonsaults.
Hmm. Anytime Kurt Angle moonsaults off the top of the cage,
Yeah, yeah, that any of his moonsaults are
um,
pretty damn amazing.
who else?
Yo, they showed that moonsault he did on Benoit in his documentary. I was shocked.
Oh,
They
they
didn't
didn't
mention,
they didn't they didn't
but
mention
they
his
had to
name.
bring it. So that was just the fact that he would
yeah,
do it and miss. They
yeah,
had to get that up.
yeah.
Oh man,
Throw your body on the line like that? Nah. Are you gonna take a 40-foot dive straight onto your sternum and abdomen onto the canvas? But damn, I gotta think about these moonsaults now.
I'm gonna give you a couple of my favorites, man. For Angle is definitely up there.
Hmm.
Uh, I'll give you Christopher Daniels. I like Super Crazy.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
I like Hugh Morris.
Hugh Morris.
Yeah, his nothing. What they call it? Nothing. I forgot. No Laughing Matters. What that show was called.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I'll go. Mm, I'll go Charlotte Flair.
Charlotte Flair. You know how I'm gonna throw in? Honorable mention, Too Cold Scorpio.
That's a good mention.
Too Cold
That's a good
Scorpio.
mention. That's a good
Yeah.
mention. Yeah, enough. Much respect to him. Much respect to him. Um, and
Yes,
I think
and
I think this is great for Becky just because I
hmm
just think she's been on a tear with these matches, man. She's been having wild, crazy good matches, man. And
yeah,
I think this run is gonna help a lot of the ladies down there uh be ready for like, not to steal a pun, but for the big time.
yeah.
you know. Um shout out to Becky Lynch, man, making moves. I think
Um,
tell
there
us
was
about Gabe
something.
Stevenson, man.
Okay, so
Because you and I before the show, I've been waiting to go off.
yeah,
Tell
so
me
I
all
had
you know.
saw
Tell us why you think he's gone. The
I
whole
saw
shebang.
a couple. Actually, it was right after we finished recording last week. I saw that he had been removed from the NXT roster page, and I was like, oh, it's a wrap. Because after the news of how his match with Baron Corbin was received, and then the controversy behind him outside the ring with the sexual assault and everything, I was like, oh, they probably
When
cutting
did people
ties
get
with them.
knowledge of that?
I want to say so. I think it happened in 2020,
Okay.
but I think knowledge of it didn't come out until like when he initially got signed, and like what was it? It was a
WrestleMania
WrestleMania. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
31 in Dallas, I think.
yeah. And I think that's when like people started, spring people those who knew about it already started sprinkling, hey, just in
Watch out for this guy.
case, watch out for this dude, da da da. And
Um,
so and he's had so many like start pushes already, but yeah, that guy.
so this is my deal with this guy, man. I number one, I think they try to do that initially. I remember when I was younger with Mark Henry, where it was like, "Yo, look at this Olympian
Hmm.
weightlifter, cheer for him," and it was cool. And he beat up Jerry Lawler, and but again, it didn't mean anything until he got with the Nation.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, all right, now we have a direction for him. And then it meant more when it was he went up out of that and got into the sexual chocolate. It's like, all right, now he's this. Then we need characters. I'm always gonna be this guy beating this horse. I'm sorry. The way they paraded Gabe Stevenson now is like, yo, obviously initially they had just won. It was him and another shorty. They had just won their gold medals.
Hmm.
So there wasn't. I don't think he signed when he came out that time yet. I think he signed shortly after.
Yeah, I don't think.
But
I think it was just
they were just like saying
She's
hi.
coming. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I don't expect you to have a character then at all. But my point is, and I think I might mention this in an earlier show. When I first met Kurt Angle, I didn't watch his matches in the Olympics.
Hmm.
They portrayed him as this condescending guy, but he's so but condescending but aloof. Like aloof,
Yeah.
like, yo, you're supposed to like I'm your hero, and you're supposed to like me. And
Hmm.
people's like, fuck all that. But he's like, no, wait, I'm intelligent. I'm everything better than you. What's the problem? Like, he just doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was perfect. Like, I literally in the beginning when I saw his vignettes, I thought he was supposed to be a good guy. I didn't understand it until like he got in the
Yeah.
ring, and people was like, nah, we don't mess with this, you know. And my problem with the Gabe Stevenson thing is, I believed like when Kurt Angle was in there, he got better over time. But
Hmm.
there was never a time when he got in the ring where I felt like he didn't belong in the ring.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like everything looked
Like,
like sports entertainment to me.
yeah,
And
from
with
jump, you
Gabe,
knew he was.
it just feels like he's going through the motions. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, he can do a good suplex. Sure, you're a fucking Olympic gold medalist. Who are you though? You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
think they did him a disservice by trying to m- make him a face, especially knowing what we know. Like, I hate when they try to act like we don't have access to information. So people already know he ain't the squeakiest, cleanest of guys. And apparently, I think
Mm.
you had told me he got off on this case on like some sort of technicality.
Yeah. Like you
And
can't if the victim was deemed intoxicated, the charges get dropped or something ridiculous like that.
so that to me that makes it worse because it's like it seemed like you were less intoxicated than this person,
Hmm.
and you look like you taking it like that. That's so people so you already know that about this person. This person is in front of your TV screen, and you're gonna tell me that this person is well to do and like all this. Nah, man.
Yeah. Cheer for him.
At the very least, you got to make him a heel because people want to boo him anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I also
It's
think they
tough.
probably should have looked at that case closer.
Hmm.
Because I know by the letter of the law, he was not guilty. But
Yeah.
that's
It's
iffy.
tough
That's an
because
iffy place to be, and it's for me to say like, yo, people should forgive everything and move on. And the sexual assault shit is a little weird, man. You can't. I don't think you could just do that with stuff like that.
yeah,
Um,
and especially in this business where you go to the wrong city, that crowd they're gonna start chanting some things, and that's the last thing you want, especially if it's a TV taping. That's the
he
last
wasn't
thing
gonna get
you
no
want.
love in New York.
Oh no, 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 no,
You know what I mean? Like
no.
any place that got that's fuck it with smart people. No,
I mean, and at All In. during the Bucks FTR match, the crowd was chanting "Wheeler's got a gun."
No.
like, like, so it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Like it's just the way wrestling fans are. Like they're gonna find something about you and they're gonna chant it to the
Oh,
death.
not
So
Wheeler's got a gun.
yeah, yo,
No.
honestly, so the thing, so he's off the roster page, but he's not gone because he wrestled a house show on the 9th of September. So was it
Okay.
last Saturday? Yeah, he wrestled
Yeah.
a house show last Saturday. So he's still around. So they're probably trying to repackage him, retool him to throw him out there again and see what happens. But you know what I literally just saw that I forgot happened?
What's that?
Nia Jax is back.
Oh, we was gonna get to that.
Oh, okay,
We're gonna
okay.
get to
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
I was gonna
yeah,
get to
yeah.
that in the Raw recap.
Okay, okay. All right,
But I
bet,
think,
bet. Nice.
correct me if I'm wrong. I didn't catch Raw at the end. But what I want, the point I want to make when we talk about the women in AEW,
Hmm.
um, did Rhea close the show?
I don't even know, honestly. I don't
I
even know.
want to say
I was watching the end of the Jets game.
okay, okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Let's
But
see.
yeah, Gable Stevenson, guess he's still here. Right,
One
so
day
boom.
ago, Raw results. Yeah.
Actually, yeah, let me see.
Oh no. Okay. Well, wait. No. Imperium. Yeah, I think Rhea and Raquel went on last.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think so. Let's see. Miz, Akira Sezone. Yeah, I think so. Which, to my point, again, they find ways to make these women's programs feel just more of value in WWE right now. That's all. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like it's gonna take a lot. I remember AW did a cage match with Thunder Rosa and I think Britt Baker,
Yeah,
and there was blood and all this other stuff, and that was cool. I don't think I enjoyed it as much as Becky versus Trish. It's story, man. It's so
yeah.
all about story. The blood is cool. It's different seeing it on chicks. I get it, but the
No, but
story.
they've been that's been a that was a long feud. The problem with that feud is that the roots of that feud started during the pandemic,
Okay.
and then the payoff. Wait, yeah, the cage match was in front of a crowd, but
Mm-hmm.
they had a lights out match during the pandemic as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so that feud, that's a long run feud, and that's one of those. I think that was supposed to be, well, not I'm not saying what it's for. I'm personally comparing it to Brett Shawn because it's like Thunder Rosa and Britt have that same friction that Shawn, and not I don't think it's as personal as Shawn and Brett's got with the whole sunny days and things like that. But
Yeah.
that is like their on-screen rivalry. The seeds were planted by an off-screen rivalry, like Shawn and Brett. So
Right.
before Rose's injury, I think that was the trajectory AEW wanted those two to go on, like throughout the course of their career in AEW. But then Thunder Rosa got that back injury, and I think she's just now taking um I think she just started practicing taking bumps again within like the last 2 weeks because she rehabbed instead of having a surgery on her back, so that it took longer than expected. But we'll see. But yeah, they need to make the women's division feel must see, do something special. And I was reading a thread on a forum, like in general in AEW, it was like, has AEW done anything on like their free TV shows that were big, like surprising? And I can't remember the last time they did something that was like shocking on on a Dynamite.
They did cooler stuff, honestly, before the pandemic.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like Dynamite felt like Monday Nitro to me before. Like, I was like, it really felt more must see back then. I don't know what the
Yeah.
actual change was. Maybe it was just the fact that it was new, but they were just
Hmm.
doing cooler stuff. Like I remember them. I remember like the Jericho Appreciation Society. Not them. What was the name of his first joint? Inner Circle. Sorry,
Yeah.
fighting in like the crowd, and like he Jericho got pushed through a door or something like that, or
Hmm.
Moxley did his finisher on a glass table in the back, and
Yeah,
it just
yeah,
it
shit like
felt
that.
like night. It just felt like Nitro, man.
Yeah.
Um, they don't. I don't think they have to be Nitro, but I just think there was a more of a energy
Yeah, you
to
don't know what's gonna
Dynamite.
happen. Like you don't know
Yeah,
quite what's gonna happen. They need to restore that feeling.
but I think,
Um,
but again, it goes back to they didn't have no fucking Ring of Honor to market back then neither. It was just them. You
yeah,
feel me? So I think that
yeah.
all them things play a role, man. Hopefully they figure it out. But
Hmm.
got tangent again, man. Gabe Stevenson is probably on his way out,
Yeah.
and
You got
probably
one
for the
more
best.
chance.
Get up out of there because I feel like if you got him working there, then why we ain't got no bring back Velveteen Dream? Why we at it?
Shit.
I mean,
Can we say this time next year, Gable Stevenson will be the NWA champion?
yeah, I guess if
He's
they got
on
they be
power.
having Tyrus there, they could probably do anything, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But no, he would
Uh,
not be because honestly, you still gotta have like I don't like Tyrus, but I'm sure he could do a little mic work. You know what I mean? Like this, Gabe Stevenson can't do anything.
yeah, Tyrus. He's hosted. They don't like TV shows in Paris, so he's comfortable on a microphone.
So it's like Gabe Stevenson.
Yeah,
He's not. There's nothing about Gabe Stevenson says professional wrestler to me.
yeah. He's still
Nothing.
Olympic wrestler.
Nothing. And he kind of look whatever, man. He kind of looks lame to me. Like
Hmm.
when they said that he violated some chick, I'm like, I don't want to. I don't like profile people. I'm like, I wasn't surprised. I'm like, bro, like I just feel like he walks around like he thinks he can get away with things,
Yeah.
and he tried to get away with something, and it did
Hmm.
not work. And by the skin of his teeth, due to a technicality, he got off.
Yeah.
But he's out here taking advantage of people. Then he got this great deal handed to him, and I don't feel like he put his all into becoming a professional wrestler.
No.
That's just how
Mm.
I feel. So you get what you get. You get what you put in. You know what I mean?
Just in all these, sometimes these big standouts don't pan out, man.
I
You
never
see it all
from
the
the
time.
day they brought him on stage to wave. I said, please don't bring him. You don't need him. You don't need him.
No, no.
God
And
damn.
if you were gonna bring him in, what I would have done, I would have made him a lackey in Alpha Academy. Simple, simple.
Yo,
Put him
nothing
back.
they did worked, yo. They put this dude with Kurt Angle
And it didn't
to
work, bro.
nothing looks believable. Him doing the milk thing and him cheering did not look. He doesn't even. I don't even think he watched pro wrestling. And sure, a lot of people don't and like become stars
Hmm.
and they get it, but
Hmm.
it didn't bite him the way it bit Bianca or it bit Kevin Nash or it bit
Yeah,
certain. You know what I mean? Like it didn't bite him.
yeah.
Man,
And those
I'm
people also, I feel like once they were in the business, they took it upon themselves to want to get better.
man.
So when, like, I feel like he's coasting because he was born with all this fanfare. He's like, I'm gonna be the man anyway. They love me. Da, 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 da. And
He should have thought more, man, because the money ain't not in amateur wrestling, homie. That's
mm-mm.
for a moment in time, and you in the history books, and no one can take it from you. But then it's time to pay bills.
Yep.
But then you need a pro wrestling contract. Now you gotta sell.
Only
Now you
so many
gotta.
world tournaments you can do.
Know what I mean? But yeah, man, you get what you get, and you get what you deserve, man. So if he actually
Yeah.
out here violating chicks, then I don't want no happiness from him anyway.
Word. Word.
And I say it to his face. 'Cause I'm from Brooklyn, so it's okay. I don't
You
know him
already
from.
know.
Yeah, I'm not worried about where he from. You
Mm-mm.
know, um, because he'd be a loser for that. Uh, moving into our slam of the week.
Yeah.
Admittedly, I missed a lot of wrestling this week. I've caught shorts, but what I did do this week was finish a match of this what would have been a pay-per-view back then or like a PLE or a special event. It's called the Big Event. It was in Toronto. I think it was in '86. Headlined by Mr. Wonderful and Hulk Hogan. But there's several other
Mm.
matches on the card. My slam of the week is a match between Jake the Snake Roberts and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. and what they called a snake pit match, but in truth was just like no holds barred type of match. And
Yeah,
I think any era could watch this match and just enjoy it. It was they was fighting outside, they was fighting in the ring, they were doing all the heel stuff, the face stuff. Man, it was just the energy of the crowd and everything, especially at that time. It was an outdoor venue. So, it's like 60, 70,000 people there legitimately. No big walkway, just like a small little aisleway for people to walk down with a guardrail. And they had every time someone would come out, they didn't show all the entrances, but anytime someone would come out, the same security team would run back to the entrance to bring the next person out. Like you were so close to the fans that they could probably grab you when you
oh
walked
damn,
out. But yeah, Jake the Snake versus Ricky Drag Steamboat is my suggestion. Anyone I want to check that match out from the big event, Snake Pin match, a lot of fun. Ricky goes over, but how he gets there is a lot of fun. So
yeah.
that's my slam of the week.
Shout out to them, man. Two legends that we still
Still
have
with
here.
us too. Shout
Yeah,
outs to them.
yeah. Especially Jake. I know Jake's been battling COPD, so it's been that's why he's been taking some hiatuses off of AEW television. But yeah, shout out to him. Shout out to Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. My slam of the week. So I only just watched Dynamite like a couple hours ago.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Good matches. I mean, what? Nothing really stood out to me match wise. Like they were all good matches, but nothing really stood out to me match wise. So if I had to pick one, I would say I'll go with the main event was Roderick Strong versus Samoa Joe. So that was a good match. And
That's my favorite characters right now. I'm mad I missed
yo,
them this week.
my man Roddy,
Again,
Adam,
if they have if they
Adam.
have if they do characters, bro, I'm already interested. I was never
Yes.
to this point. I never even was in
Mhm.
Roger Strong in NXT. I'm the most
Yeah.
interested in them right now because they're doing something with the
Hmm.
character. I'm a whatever event it was just now when whoever jumped MJF and hurt his neck. I think
Yeah.
it was on one of
Yeah.
these dynamites, and they was walking up the aisle, and Adam Cole was helping him, and then this dude was on. Adam! I was like, "Who's yelling like this?" Everyone plays their role so well. I forgot that you keep forgetting that he's a part of this whole thing.
Yes, until you hear that Adam
I'm
screaming
like,
from the
"What?" I was like, "Who is
background.
this?" And then he walks out with this damn neck brace. What happened to my neck? I'm like, "Oh my god, get
Yo,
this
and
guy out of
then
here!"
the best part is like he'll wrestle the match, no problem. And then as soon as the bell rings to end the match, he's like, oh my god, my neck, get the race back on, get the race back on, get the race back on. And it's beautiful, man. Like I watched Roderick Strong for a long time. And this is by far the most interesting he's been in his entire career. Because his like the reason MJF was calling him a bland generic white guy is because that was real. Like he's a great wrestler. Like don't get me wrong, but he was just a bland generic white dude, basic black trunks, black boots, just doing wrestling moves.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the only thing about his character when he was on the Indies was like he hated being called Roddy. Like he wanted you to call him by his full name, Roderick. So the crowd would chant Roddy and he'd get frustrated and it would cost him matches and stuff like that. But other than that, this is definitely the most entertaining he's been. And I like that he's leaning into it too.
Yeah, man. Please, you want to get reactions?
Yeah,
I'm mad
man.
I missed him this week. I'm mad I missed him. When we talk about Raw, I'm gonna tell you what I was upset about why I missed him Raw. But yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, he's
That's
playing
not a
that
bad one.
jilted best friend, man. Do
Oh
some
man.
do a
All right,
little
let's get into these
recap.
recaps, man. What do you remember? Cause I didn't really. I was out at some Fashion Week stuff this week, so I didn't really get a chance to watch
Let me see.
at night. And I don't remember much from Collision. I was probably out over the weekend. I ain't watched Collision. Um, this is
If I
hilarious. Yeah,
remember
we're a
correctly.
wrestling podcast. I ain't watching any wrestling. Anyway,
I'm trying to
I'll be
let me
better
see.
next week for sure.
I try to remember what the card for Collision was. It was let me see.
Well, I feel like
Oh,
Collision. That's when Daniel Bryan made the challenge. I feel like.
yeah, it had Roderick Strong versus Darby Allin. That was a really good match. It was I don't know if you've seen the bump online, but Darby Allin just reckless with his body again. Roderick Strong does like a backbreaker on the turnbuckle.
Ooh,
Darby bounces off the turnbuckle, bounces off the ring apron onto the floor. And it's just like, bro, what do you like? Your back is gonna
he
be
didn't have to do that.
fucking
He didn't
yeah,
have to do the apron.
yeah, you didn't, but
Not on,
it's
not on,
Darby.
not on, not on Collision.
It's Darby. And so now they got the edits going around on Twitter with the cartoon sound effects every time. The boink, yeah, shit like that. But yeah, that was good. I mean, it's weird talking about it like so far out because Dynamite's already happened. So whenever they were building up to Dynamite, it's already been seen. But yeah, they. I think the most important thing about this past collision was Jade coming back, and that was the biggest. It was, and there was an attempt of Daniel Bryan trying to recruit Ricky Starks into the Blackpool Combat Club, but instead of accepting, they attacked him, and that's what helped further the feud between Daniel Bryan and Ricky Starks. So I think, this week on Collision, it's Daniel Bryan and Cesaro versus Ricky Starks and Big Bill.
Is the whole Blackpool Combat Club babyface?
I think they're whatever. They
Because
they
sometimes they don't
float.
really
Yeah,
be
they're
babyfacey,
tweeners.
right?
Yeah, I think they're just tweeners. It's whoever they're facing. It's based on
Okay.
whoever because they don't change how they act or carry themselves. It's just who they're interacting with at the time. So Daniel Bryan, because the whole thing is, oh, if we bleed together, like that's the whole Blackpool Combat Club thing. You want to join us, you got to bleed with us. So once you have a brutal match with a member, they respect you and they try to bring you into the fold. So they were trying to do that with Ricky, which makes
Yeah,
sense if they were coming off being heel and Ricky's a heel. It makes sense, but then Ricky rejecting them by proxy makes them the face.
yeah, but like jumping people is like a heel thing.
Yeah, Ricky's clearly the heel in this
Okay.
feud. Like they're positioning him to be the heel. But it's
Okay.
crazy because the Blackpool Combat Club is they're one of those they're like anime characters. They just want to fight. Like some episodes, it might look like the bad guy because they fighting the hero of the story. Like Vegeta, he's fighting Goku sometimes, but boom, now he's fighting Cell, so he's a hero this time. But Vegeta's mentality has never changed. He's been the
You know, I'm
same
realizing how many babyface stables can you mention
currently. Not a lot.
ever?
Oh, ever? Whew, it's
I could only
tough.
think of I could only think of the New Day right now.
Um,
Like the DX became that eventually
yeah,
for a little bit, but like outside of that,
yeah.
it,
No, there was no stable that was formed for positive reasons, like for to help a face out. Like it
the
always,
Wolf Pack a little bit,
yeah. But that's due to like internal dissension. You
right?
know,
The Inception wasn't really that. So I'm like, who gets together to be hunky dory and happy? I'm thinking about all these groups, but they all jumping people. Four Horsemen was jumping people. Evolution was jumping people. Nation Domination was jumping people. Disciples of Apocalypse, Los Boricuas,
yeah.
Heart
Everyone was,
Foundation,
yeah. Damn, the Brood.
Judgment Day,
Um,
Bloodline, the Corporation, Ministry of Darkness,
listen, you want to take the TNA, fucking Fortune, the main event Mafia.
Pinnacle,
Yeah, like it's. I think.
and the New Day began as heels because people didn't like them in the beginning. So it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you don't really start a group to be good. I just realized that. So that's why
yeah.
I'm like, okay, I think you're
Like
right. Black Bolt
I'd
Combat
have
Club
to
got to be
think.
tweeners.
I'd have to think if the only place where there be stables initially formed by faces would be like places like Japan and Mexico. Whereas like and even then they're probably getting together to face a group of already established heels. So it's like even when you get the face stables, they're only around because of a heel stable. So it's still like heel stables are the root of groups and wrestling. So yeah, not yeah, shit. They know. And
I
I think
think
it's
they,
like that because you want the lone. It makes the hero factor better when it's the lone babyface conquering that whole or defying the odds of going against a stable to become
that's
a
probably
champion
why.
or something. Yeah.
But again, and not to say that they don't become that. The Wyatt family became favorites eventually.
Hmm.
Uh,
Same with the Shield.
the Shield, or right, um, so we've seen it, but like they all started off with no one like not supposed to like them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just funny. That just kind of came to my mind because I'm like, well, why are they jumping him? And we supposed to like, yeah, we supposed to cheer because he's the Ricky Starks is the heel, but like that don't sound like a babyface thing to do to gang up. You're not supposed to gang up when you're that person, like you said. You're supposed to be the hero conquering. When you got a bunch of help, it's easy to gang up on somebody.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
So that's
then
why I was like, oh, why did that make sense? But okay,
but
okay.
yeah. And then we can move. Should I do Dynamite or should we move to Raw now? Do
Now go to Raw.
go to Raw?
Well, I didn't. I mean,
Yes.
you can tell what you remember. All I know is that I missed the Gunther celebration, and I'm upset.
So I didn't see much of Raw. So I
Okay.
missed the Gunther celebration, but I heard about the promo he cut when he was essentially calling Chad, see, I almost called the Gable Steve, Chad Gable. He was like, "You're a terrible father using your kids as an excuse." Da 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 da. We're all wrestlers with families who have to do this. Da 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 da. And I'm like, okay, so this feud is not dead. So they're still gonna keep going. So I like that. But I think the biggest, well, I don't know if it's the biggest, but I think the most surprising news from Raw was the return of Nia Jax.
Yeah, man. I like Nia Jax, man. I know
It's
she kind of hurts people sometimes and shit. Apparently, but
yeah, and she's like, I think she's like a big anti-vaxxer too, so like that
oh, I
didn't
did
help.
see that. Yeah, she
Yeah,
could be a little ignorant.
yeah, and it's like
Um,
not it's not like a quiet anti-vaxxer. One of those I need to get online and attack and challenge every view about vaccines. So,
maybe
so
that's the
she
reason why
lost a
she could
little
be back now,
goodwill
yo. They let her go before, I think, because of that, right?
in
Not because she's
part. Yeah,
anti-vax, but because like she wouldn't get the vaccine, not because of what she
yeah,
says, but like,
yeah. Because
um,
if I if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure Sasha Banks was also against getting the vaccine, but like eventually got it because I knew she initially had some pushback. But
look, man, I always bring this up. I don't, man,
yeah,
look, when I wanted to go to
it's
college, they said I had to get meningitis shots. This I had to do this. I
yeah,
had a bunch of shit I never had before. Yeah, you do it. Why?
yeah.
I'm just taking a shower. Well, you got to do it, or you can't live on camera. All right, well, then I had to go do it. I don't understand the belly aching for this shit at all. But way
It's
smarter people than I made this vaccine, not fucking me.
yeah,
So
it's a whole conspiracy angle shit, and then you add black people to it. We extra conspiracy when it comes to medicine sometimes. So you know how it is.
I can't tell you. I ate Popeyes earlier. I can't tell you what preservatives is up in them Popeyes.
Word, exactly. Shit, you eating poison
Thankfully, I'm
every
still
day.
here. But give me a break.
You know.
Um, but anyway, funny enough, we might disagree on our beliefs on that Nia Jax, but I like Nia Jax
Oh, listen,
as a
I
character. Man, I like her on the show. I think she'll be good. She's good to have in the division, and a
yeah,
great challenge for Rhea Ripley because she needs some signature challenge to
yeah,
me.
and I'm like, I've never. I know it's like you separate the art and the artist, and sometimes you can't do that. But like
Right.
the only issue I ever had with Nia Jax was hurting people in the ring because I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
this is your profession, and it's But other than that, nah. Like people, like when her and Charlotte got into that little,
Slap
they
match.
almost tried to shoot on each other. Yeah, I was like, I love it. Give me more of
They
that
they're
shit.
they're cool
If
too,
that's
which
the
is
kind of
funny.
tension, yeah. So I'm like, yo, give me more of that. But
That was mad fun. It got like
the only thing,
uncoordinated. I was like, oh, this is real. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I think just like the only issue I have with her is even more like not even an entering opponents because that happens. Like yes, take measures to be safer, but don't be flippant about it. I think that was the biggest issue. She was real like
Yeah, things happen.
yeah, like and she but like she never like I don't think it was ever like a sorry, like my
You
bad,
ain't think she
da
was
da da da.
contrite.
Yeah,
Yeah, I understand.
yeah, but other than that, because this is a business where you gotta trust the person you in the ring with.
Yeah, to get the most out of it. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So,
I agree.
but moving on to Dynam, I don't know what happened with Jay Uso on Raw.
With who?
So Jay Uso. So I'm not sure how
So
that
him and Kevin
advanced.
Owens, I saw the beginning of Raw. Him and Kevin Owens ended up fighting some Judgment Day guys. Yeah, they fought before the tag champs. And I don't remember who won.
Okay.
Guy was getting
Okay.
justified. But people, Kevin Owens came out there was like, yo, basically like don't be surprised that people ain't messing with you. And you got a lot of work
Yeah.
to do. And I've been in your position. I've had a lot of work to do to build people's trust back, yada yada yada, that type of thing. Um,
Oh, okay.
but that's as much as I saw. That I went to the city, so I can't really
Yeah.
offer much by way of that. I
Mhm.
think I don't know what happened with Seth that night. Um, yeah, mm, this is
Yeah. Yeah.
we're
I
not
was at work
shiny.
and I was
It's not our brightest moment, guys.
holding
Yeah.
back tears watching the Jets game.
So I'm gonna tell you something about the
um.
Jets, man. So I watched. I said before I left that night, I said, let me just see this Aaron Rodgers thing real quick. Let me see what he gonna do. I
Mhm.
must have lasted. I probably got up to the third play. They say he got hurt on the fourth. I think the
Yeah.
third play. I was watching them. I watched the first drive up until the third play,
Yeah.
and I was like, these niggas. They had. I felt like the line wasn't helping. Thought they were ass. And then I
No.
was at one point
No.
they had like a penalty and they got another first down. So then the
Mm.
drive started over. And I'm watching, and I think the third play of that drive, he gets sacked. And I was like, all right, this nigga, I'm going, I'm leaving. So I turn the TV
Yeah.
off. I leave the house. I go about my business. And then my uncle texts me. He didn't give no context, but he just goes, "Oh
Mhm.
shit, this is in my phone." I'm like, I'm trying to act like I'm watching stuff. Like, yeah, crazy, right? But I wasn't watching them. I was like, I was driving. So when I get to my destination and I look at my phone, I'm Aaron Rodgers and someone with his Achilles, and I was like, "Whoa, no!" I was like, "Already, bro?" It must have happened the next play when I turned
Already.
off the TV.
It was sickening. It
And
was
then
sickening.
everybody mad at the turf. I'm like, well, then everybody need to change the damn fields and make them regular fields.
It wasn't even honestly, it wasn't even the turf was a small part of it. Sorry to get into this tangent, but he had a calf strain 2 weeks earlier. So it's
Oh
like the Kevin Durant situation. How
no,
Kevin Durant had a calf
I
strain.
didn't know he had a
And
calf strain.
yeah, he had a
No,
calf strain and
he's
so
39 years old.
hmm
Treat him like that.
yeah. But
Ratings though. Monday Night Football.
yeah, he'll be
New
back
York
though.
City.
He'll be back.
MetLife
We'll be
Stadium.
back. We'll be back. It's not looking good for New York football right now.
Oh, the Giants got spanked. I am a Giants fan. We got
Woo.
spanked on Sunday. So yeah, you won't hear it
So yeah,
here.
it's not looking good. It's not
I
looking
am
good.
not boasting. I'm not. I'm not
No.
even throwing no. I was excited to see. Usually in this city, man, Jets fans are Mets fans, and you got to have a high character to have the patience to root for them teams.
Yeah.
Um, and I was
That's why I had to get
excited.
a backup team. When my dad raised me, he's like, "Yo, our team is the New York Jets." He's like, "But it's also the Philadelphia Eagles, just in case." So, because when my dad came to this country, Randall Cunningham was the quarterback. So he was like, "Black quarterback, that's my backup team." So
I respect that.
yeah, I can't knock it. I can't knock it.
It's I was rooting for my Jets fans, friends and
Yeah.
family, man, because it's a long time coming for someone to you know,
Yeah,
captivate your attention that way. But they got to work on that line. You got an old quarterback. You better get you some good talent up front, B.
for real,
That's the only way that Tom
for
Brady
real. Work on
lasted that
that.
long. It ain't his athleticism. It's his
Mm-mm.
line that gave
Work
him
on
time
that.
to get rid of the ball. So, hey man, get well to Aaron Rodgers. I know people was like this dude was like a conspiracy guy and he's one of them people too. But I mean,
Yeah,
I ain't watched I didn't turn on that game to see him get hurt.
yeah.
I wanted him to do over the team. So I mean, trust me, I'm not with all his kooky shit.
Listen, you could
But
be kooky as long as you not alt right, QAnon, Alex. Well,
right.
He's not Alex Jones kooky. He's still on like Joe Rogan show kooky, but not Alex Jones kooky yet. So he's still good for now. But
Yeah, man. Get well soon to him.
quickly into these dynamite recap. I don't know if you saw, for those who miss it, my man MJF hit Samoa Joe with the Steiner math promo, perfectly recited.
He did
Um,
amazing.
to the point where people almost thought it was on the teleprompter, and it could have been on the teleprompter still.
I don't get. I thought that while I was watching it, I didn't care. I was
Yeah,
like, bro, it's going off without a hitch, and I
yeah,
love the. I shouldn't expect nothing less from an AW crowd, but as
hmm
soon as he would get into the equations, they were popping.
yeah,
I was like, yeah,
yeah,
y'all know what this is. Y'all
yeah. They
know what
know,
this is.
they know,
Yeah,
and it'll never be the original because the original is punctuated by the constant stammering and mistakes that Scott Steiner was known for in that run during his promos. And an interesting thing about the original, that was the second take. The one that we saw was the second take because the first time, Petey Williams and Raka Khan could not stop laughing.
bro.
They could not
There's a
stop
point.
laughing.
I watched it over on Twitter last night, and I
Uh-huh.
forgot that part where he looks at the girls like, "You want to be with a guy like Samoa Joe, or you want to be a guy like me?" The chick
The
like,
girl was like,
I think Samoa Joe kind of nice."
yeah. Like try not to say, oh, can't fat shame
Bruh,
him.
that was so Scott Steiner is a maniac, boy. That was
Yes,
so funny,
yes.
man.
Fat.
So funny. You want to get with a
But
real man that could please you all night long. It's like this nigga's
the
crazy.
big bad booty daddy, when MJF did it,
Oh my
brought out the
god.
Steiner math.
Steiner math.
They they built more towards Wrestle Dream. The For those who don't know, Wrestle Dream is going to be October. It's a pay per view AEW's putting together to commemorate the 1 year anniversary of Antonio Inoki's death. So it's supposed to be,
They're big on
um,
fan service, man.
yeah, yeah. That's the fan in Tony Khan. I told
I mean, shout out Antonio
Tights.
Inoki. Nothing wrong with it, but
Yeah,
it's like, who would have thought of that? Oh man, being
yeah.
with Steiner. I'm like, okay.
Because I think part of it is, um, I think one thing Tony will never do. I don't think he'll ever start a Hall of Fame because I don't think he'll want to. I think he's that much of a wrestling fan that he wouldn't want to step. Like he'll have an AEW Hall of Fame for people in AEW, or something of that nature. But he would never do like. I don't think he would ever try to put something to usurp the WWE's Hall of Fame. So he does things like these tribute shows instead as a way to pay tribute to people that he felt were important in the industry. At least
I ain't mad
that's
at
my
that.
estimation, at least. But they're building towards that. So the Hangman Adam Page wrestled Brian Cage, who those two have really good chemistry together. It like and like you wouldn't think, but they had a match at, I want to say, Full Gear 2021. It was AEW's first A pay per view in front of a crowd after the
Okay.
pandemic, and it was
Mhm.
at Daly's place, and it was I remember it because it started at like 7 and it was the summertime, so the sun was still out. So it had that those WrestleManias in like Vegas where it's still daytime when the card started, and like it had that vibe to it.
I enjoyed their early Daily's Play shows because of that.
Yeah,
Because it's in like an amphitheater.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's
So they
cool.
had a really good match then, and they had another good match
They should
on
go back
Dynamite.
there too. By the way, like that was a nice, energetic crowd.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
shows
they
just had a
should.
different vibe.
And so Swerve comes out because Brian Cage is in the Mogul Embassy with Swerve, so they're furthering that storyline. Swerve comes out after the match and challenges Hangman. So they're gonna have a match
That's a
one
Grand
on
Slam
one
match or a
at
Wrestle
Wrestle
Dream?
Dream.
Oh, Wrestle
Wrestle
Dream.
Dream. Yeah,
Okay.
because Wrestle Dream's gonna be in Seattle and Swerve's from Seattle, so he wants to do that in his hometown. So I'm hoping Tony Khan is one of here's where Tony Khan and Vince McMahon are the antithesis of each other. In WWE, to me, it always feels like the hometown person loses, and
In the
in
Vince McMahon
AE,
era, yeah.
yeah, and in AEW, the hometown person always wins. So it takes like some unpredictability out of the match
Mm-hmm.
because you know they're going for that moment. But I really don't mind. I don't care. So I'm hoping it's the same here. Swerve goes over Hangman Adam Page, and that leads to Swerve getting pushed further into the main event because Adam Page could take the loss and still be a main event player in AEW. So that's no issue. So
He's due for a redemption story anyway. So I mean, it could just
yeah,
aid in building that anyway.
yeah, exactly. And and so what else happened on Dynamite?
And
They
Swerve can cheat to win anyway. So
yeah, yeah.
which is fine.
And so now for next week on at Grand Slam, it's going to be Samoa Joe who defeated Roderick Strong to become the number one contender. So he's going to face MJF next week. Tony Storm won a fatal four-way to become the number one contender to the women's world title. So, and the rest of the outcasts are already acting like she's no longer with them, even though Tony's still coming out to the outcast music and everything. But that's part of her delusional, fallen from grace Hollywood starlet character that she's playing.
Chin up and tits out, right?
Yep, and watch for
Yeah,
the
man.
shoe.
I told you, bro. Characters, man.
Yeah, yeah, and then to further, like I said earlier, to further the Danielson Ricky Starks feud is going to be Moxley fought Big Bill for the international. He defended the international title against Big Bill on Dynamite. Um, Big surprise, Moxley bled. And it was a weird thing. So Big Bill, I
He's
think
gonna
he
turn
was
into Ric Flair, man. He's gonna thin out that damn skin.
listen, I know, right? He gonna have that Abdullah the Butcher forehead. Um
Yeah.
Big Bill did this odd thing. So he took the blood of Moxley and put it on like lipstick and then started dancing in the ring. Like I don't know those of you who've seen Silence of the Lambs, but in that movie there's a serial killer called Buffalo Bill. And the dance was reminiscent of that character. That character was like a cross dresser, like the very effeminate dancer. That's what Big Bill was doing.
Okay.
And you
So
can't
he's
teach
like,
that. But he was doing it
did
to
he?
mock Moxley. Um,
Okay.
and I just thought it
You don't
was
think that's where his character is going? You're saying?
no. That's not where his
Oh,
character's
okay.
going. No. But just seeing the visual of someone putting on someone else's blood as lipstick,
It's a different time. You know too
and
much now. I
everyone
think
just like hepatitis and all those other
the first,
diseases,
the
bro.
first,
Like what?
the first one night stand I went to, they the main event was Dudley Boys against Tommy Dreamer and Sandman.
Mhm.
And they had like this cheese grater spot, and they were killing Tommy Dreamer with this cheese grater thing. At one point in the match, Bubba Ray took the blood of Tommy Dreamer and wiped it on his face like that.
Yeah, I
And I
remember
was
that.
like,
I
even this is
remember that visual.
2005. I was like,
Yeah.
that don't seem right to me. That's a
No,
little
and
too
then
close to open orifices, man. No.
yeah, and every time I see something like that, I think of what was it? With the Undertaker.
Oh,
Did
because he
he
got exposed to Randy Orton's pops.
yeah, and it was hepatitis C in that situation too, right? Wasn't it?
It was
Was it
something,
hep
but he
C?
didn't catch it. But he was
Yeah,
just
he
at
didn't
risk.
yeah, he was just pissed off about it, and then you never saw Bob Orton bleed again in that feud.
Nope.
Um but yeah, so it's always weird to me when I see fluid exchanges like that, and it's like Moxley's biting people's head as they're bleeding and shit like that. And I'm like, it's wrestling though. It's been around for so long. These dudes, they wrestling in the same ring. They've been walking around, spitting in, blowing their snot out in, bleeding in. So hygiene, being a germaphobe and being a pro wrestler ain't gonna connect. So
I never understood that part of the business, like spitting and shit so much.
yeah, I think that's just an
It's weird.
athlete thing. Like that's
What are
just
they
because like
spitting up?
even playing football, even when I like playing football and I play football, you spit on the field.
Yeah, but these dudes be spitting like when they're walking out. They didn't even start the match.
Yeah, that's
The
true.
Rock used to spit for
That's
no
true.
reason. He's a come out. I'm like, what are you
Yeah,
doing? What are you
yeah,
doing? Like,
nasty.
I
And
remember I used to think
Benoit
that was
blowing
an
the
old
boogers
people
out of his
thing.
nose.
I thought that was an old people thing. And then I went to college and in the mornings I would hear dudes around my age hacking up and I'm like, ugh,
Like,
you
bro,
know,
get a neti pot, bro. Clear them
oh,
sinuses.
oh my God.
Wilding.
I mean, it happens, I guess, but I didn't think it was that crazy. I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah.
But okay, Dynamite, Big Bill, getting
Yeah,
his
yeah,
run.
yeah. And then let's see what else happened. But yeah, it's gonna be the setting of Jericho versus they're doing this whole Jericho versus Sammy Guevara thing. You know, with two people who love each other, but there's tension, and when there's tension, brothers gotta fight just to get the
Mhm.
tension out. So they're gonna have a match one on one next week on Dynamite on for Grand Slam.
Yeah.
I believe I think that's for Collision. Christian challenged Darby and Sting to face him and Luchasaurus, but I can't remember if that's gonna be for Collision or for Grand Slam next week. But that was built up on Dynamite as well,
Well, I know
and
Christian got to be at Grand Slam just to
yeah,
get the heat, just to
yeah,
get
oh
the
yeah,
heat.
definitely.
Unless they doing a collision from New York also, which I don't know.
Hmm. No, no, no. They're only gonna do
The Wednesday show.
yeah, they're only gonna do Dynamite and Rampage. And then because Collision is filmed live, I don't think they could get the venue again or have it for 3 days in a row.
Yeah, I mean, they came at the right time. U.S. Open just finished. Shout out Coco
Yeah.
Golf.
Yes, sir.
Um,
3 milli. And yeah,
yeah.
and I think the last thing is Don Callis and Takeshita are continuing their war against Kenny Omega. They're vowing to take out Kota Ibushi next.
Yeah.
The
So
heart
were
of
they?
Kenny Omega.
Did, did they reveal who the next opponent going to be, or that's something he wanted to reveal, right?
Yeah, so the painting was Takeshita stabbing, like holding a sword over Kota Ibushi, about to stab him in some like epic, tragic way, and like Kenny Omega in the background crying, and Don Callis smiling, and
This is
so
very
it's
funny how they going about setting up their feuds.
yeah, with these wild paintings. So
Yeah. Okay.
Don Callis is working double duty, so they want to go after Kota Ibushi next for Kenny, and then they're trying to recruit Daniel Garcia as another way to stick it to Chris Jericho. So we'll see how that
As soon
goes.
as you say that, I see the dance.
Listen, the Arizona Cardinals did the Daniel Garcia dance. So it's hitting the main. It's always
Ha-
interesting
character,
to see what celebrities like, what kind of wrestling celebrities watch.
character, man,
Because like
character.
O'Shea Jackson Jr. being a big wrestling fan,
He really
like
watches though. He's like a knowledgeable dude. I kind of watch his tweets. He be really
yeah,
watching
he began
everything. He
into
watches
in depth,
everything.
yeah, and he gets into like in depth discussions about why he likes certain things
Hmm.
and this, that, and the third. So shout out to him. Um, George Kittle on the
He's an actor
49ers.
too, man. So the more you realize that this is performance art, I think actors
Yes,
will have an appreciation for it. So shout out to him.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
And then George Kittle from the 49ers. He does the zero medio taunt that Penta does.
Yeah.
So he's a big aid. And it's funny because I feel like he's been watching. I feel like he doesn't know Penta from AEW. I feel like he's been watching Penta on like Lucha Underground and shit when Lucha Underground used to air on TV,
Good.
just to show like that's a deep wrestling cut for someone to have like as a fan, a celebrity fan. And then you got the West Side Guns, your Action Bronsons, everyone else. But yeah, Get them
Action Bronson
celebrities
been down
involved.
though. I gotta give him love. He been down.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
been down.
hell yeah. Man got a his first mixtape has a song called Ron Simmons. It has 3 songs. One song called Ron Simmons, another song called Intercontinental Champion, and then the third song is called Barry Horowitz. So
I probably mentioned this on our first episode, but yeah, my first wrestling show I went to, Barry Horowitz was on that show. My first ever show, man. And he was wrestling from
Barry
like the 80s.
Horowitz,
My mother knew who he was.
he likes to pat himself on the back. Shout out Barry Horowitz, man. But yeah, but that's it. That's your dynamite recap.
Good stuff. Good
Yeah.
stuff. It's currently Thursday when we're recording. So
Hmm.
yeah, we'll just see what happens on SmackDown tomorrow. Hopefully I'm home
Yeah.
to catch some
Yeah.
of it. Can't make no
And
guarantees.
I'll say this: I've been neglecting Impact a lot, forgetting they're the redheaded stepchild of the wrestling TV companies. But I think they're doing Impact 1000 tonight, so a celebration of 1000 episodes of Impact. Um, I'm
That
pretty
was
sure.
taped though, right?
Yeah, it was taped. I think it
I
was
think it
taped.
was this past weekend.
Yeah.
And I think they had
Um.
Awesome Kong return, which I loved to hear.
Yes. Yes.
Shout out
Yes.
Krista from those wrestling girls who I believe said she was gonna go to the show.
Yeah, and
Um,
I did want to mention Trinity Fatu um retained her championship. She's still Impact Knockouts champion.
what's the name of the shorty
Um
she was facing, man? Because she poured water on her head or something, is she?
Alicia Edwards, Eddie Edwards'
Yeah,
wife. Um
that's
this is
right.
funny, like so Eddie Edwards is one of those wrestlers who's been around for he's been in the indies for a while, Ring of Honor, etc. And his wife had no wrestling training. And a couple of years ago, when he re-signed with Impact, he was like, "All right, she's gonna be a wrestler too." And so, to see her develop over the years to this point is a testament because it was rough. It was rough in the beginning with her. Like I've seen the matches, the promos. They try to lean into the comedy thing with her initially to get her more comfortable. But yeah, it was still rough. But shout out to her. In the build up to the match, Eddie Edwards powerbombed Trinity through a table on last week's Impact or the week before.
Like,
Um, so people were making the jokes, oh, we about to be the whole bloodline showing up at his front door, ready to pop off and shit. And then I think she on the pay-per-view, she did a dive through the table onto Eddie Edwards.
I saw that.
Yeah.
So that was
So
why she ended up doing that. Okay. But he
yeah.
looked like somebody that was always interfering with in their interactions anyway.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
I've seen. So
Yeah.
that's funny. Okay.
So shout out to her. She having fun. She's having fun. And I'm glad they're like sticking with her as a champ as opposed to just, oh, she's new, she just came from WWE, let's put the belt on her.
Right.
Like they had her beat Deonna Purrazzo, and Deonna Purrazzo is I say she's their ace of their women's division. Like they have a lot of good wrestlers in their division, but Deonna Purrazzo is one of those, like she could be a star, a mega star. Like the only reason I don't know why WWE didn't resign her.
Mm.
That was baffling to me because she was on NXT. She has a great in-ring ability. She's technical. She got like her submissions are some of my favorites in wrestling. And she can talk on the mic. And she has connections. Like her best friends are like Chelsea Green.
Chelsea Green.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
when she got married, her bridesmaids were Chelsea Green, Britt Baker, and I can't remember who else. But she has an inner circle of friends who work in both AEW and WWE. But I'm surprised like WWE let her go. Like honestly, I think it might be because of her size. Like she's shorter and she's a bit stockier,
Mm.
but she's really good. Like she's really good in the ring, man.
Does she
Really,
have a good
really good.
character?
Yeah, like she's the virtuosa. So she's like basically she's the epitome of what all women in wrestling should be, according to her. Like she's the perfect submission artist. She's a perfect striker. Um, and it's the way she carries herself too. And she was, I think at one point she had like three different world championships at one time. So like other promotions were putting stock into her as their world champion as well while she was in Impact. But I think she'll make her way back eventually. I think WWE just wants to see more from her as far as character goes. So we'll see. But yeah, shout out to
All right, well, I'm
Trinity.
sorry. I don't think I've seen her before, so I'm like looking her up.
Yeah.
She's a little cutie pie.
Yeah. Like she has the look. She's comfortable on the mic. She's good in the ring. I don't know why they
Why
would
they
let
they
her
gonna
go.
fire her?
Yeah.
Ooh,
I'm saying.
no,
I'm
no.
saying.
And she got a little appeal, and
Yeah. You know what I'm
she's
saying? Like
cool on the
it's
camera. Oh,
yeah, they let her go, man.
come on,
And
Trips. Let's go, homie. The sale is over.
listen,
The sale is
listen.
over.
Oh, listen. And I ain't want to be that guy, but
The sale is over.
Tony Storm been looking like a real snack lately too,
Oh,
man.
20.
Tony Storm.
I've always thought she was good looking.
Yeah,
It was always about character for me. Now
yeah,
she kind of getting on that wave, but
yeah.
she's very good. Just don't tell me like my issue is always Jimmy Jam. All right, what is a Jimmy Jam? What is a Tony Storm? Give me something.
Yeah,
So now she's
yeah,
leaning into that type of thing. You know what I mean? Because when
mhm,
you have a regular name, it's like, what is that? It's unique. Sometimes if you have Hunter Hearst Helmsley, that name sounds uppity. So that
yeah,
works.
yeah,
But if you're Kurt Angle, what's a Kurt Angle? Oh,
mhm,
I'm Olympic gold medalist. Okay. I am condescending. But then now we're getting somewhere. MJF, I'm better than you and you know it. That's the character.
mhm,
You know what I mean? Along with the scarf. You know,
yeah.
CM Punk,
Fake Burberry.
punk rocker, underdog. I don't do no drugs, and no one
Straight
counting me.
edge.
Everyone is counting me out. There's it. You add something to the name.
Anti-establishment.
All those things. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So that's my only thing with that. But damn, that
Yeah,
shorty pretty nice, man. Come on.
yeah,
The E is
yeah.
playing. The
Wow,
E
man.
is playing.
I
Oh.
think I think I think they'll have eyes on her again in the future. I think they will. I think they just wanted to see more from her.
Everything in this right time. Everything in this right
Yeah,
time.
because like she's good enough where she doesn't need to be in NXT, but I don't think they thought she was good enough where she could just be on the main roster yet. Because
This way her body looks, I feel like she could have a good match with like Shayna Baszler or something like that, like some
yeah,
big stuff like that. I could
yeah.
see
Oh yeah, they
her
would have a
doing
good
that.
match. Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
Hmm. Impact has an interesting women's roster. Like if you Google Jordan Grace,
I've heard that name.
yeah, so she's another great wrestler. But fucking like she's like one of those she does powerlifting and stuff like that and weightlifting, but she also has like an OnlyFans, so she does like sexy like lingerie
Oh,
shoots and stuff as well.
no
And
Jordan. Hmm.
she
Oh
had her
yeah, this chick is a dancer. How you spell Jordan with an I?
no JORDYNNE.
DUI.
DY.
Jordy.
Yeah,
Jordy.
yeah, JORDYNNE.
Oh Jordan. Oh, DUINE.
Yeah,
Oh my
two
goodness.
N's. Two N's.
Mm, that's an interesting way of spelling that name.
Yeah. She's fucking
Oh, she is
brolic now. Yeah.
Aki. I've seen her before.
Yeah,
Cheese and bread.
yeah,
Whoa. Oh my God. She would snap me like a twig.
yeah. And it's funny because she does like sexy lingerie shoots and stuff too on her OnlyFans and everything. And she's been out with the entry, so she just recently had like a I'm coming back vignette, and it's her working out, and then they have her doing the pull-ups. Then they have the shot of her from the back taking off her top, and then
Oh
continuing to
God.
do the pull-ups, so you can see all the muscles in her back
And
and shit.
this is on Impact. They showing all this stuff.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my
Like you don't
God.
see her topless, you just see her from the back, and then she takes the top off, starts doing the pull-ups, so you can see them Raquel-esque back muscles.
I'm, I don't. That is one of the most boring poses for me.
Oh, just a flex, regular flex.
It's not defined enough for me to be like, oh, that's all.
Yo, she is.
On her.
Yeah. Well, she's doing competitive bodybuilding too.
You talking about Jordan
Yeah,
Grace?
yeah.
Yeah,
She
I can
does
see that.
competitive bodybuilding too. It's crazy how jacked she is,
Yeah, that's
and like to see her when she first came into Impact compared to now, it's insane.
a whole lot. I think it's hard to do competitive bodybuilding and be in a sport like professional wrestling.
Yeah. So I think that's why
Because
she
I think the training is so different for these things
yeah. So they wrote her off as having an injury, but I think it was really
so
she
she
had
could
a
train.
show. So she had to train and got to cut all the water weight and do all this other stuff and
And your
yeah, it's
cardio is not
crazy.
really important for those things. Like
No, no.
so, you need cardio for wrestling. That's why it's hard to. And if you do more cardio, then you ain't gonna build the
Mhm.
muscle like the same way. You know,
Yeah.
so take it
So
from me. But I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
yeah,
Um,
man.
but okay, no doubt. Oh, shout out Impact. Keep doing what y'all doing.
Mhm.
Shout out the whole wrestling industry. It's in a healthy
Yeah.
place. I know we be critiquing, but
Yeah. Yeah.
thankfully we're in a place where we can critique.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Critique
So shout
without tearing down. Like we critique, but we try not to we don't do it in bad faith.
certainly
Like you
not.
see some people out there, they got critiques where you can tell there's an agenda behind their critiques, and they just nah, man. We trying to see wrestling thrive as a whole, and so what we complain about is we complain about things. It may be sometimes company specific, but it's because we want to see wrestling grow, and we think these things will help the growth. But
No,
yeah,
it.
man. I think that's what we got for
Yeah,
today.
man. We done had a lot. We done
Yeah,
had a lot.
yeah. Um, we'll see if we go another week without some major out of
I
ring
don't know,
news
man.
happening because we almost went a week until the Jade shit last night. So we'll see.
I'm not mad at it either way, man.
Yeah,
I like having things to talk about.
yeah,
The J thing
yeah,
is gonna build. We're not sure what's happening. We've seen these movies before, is all we're saying. So we'll see
yeah,
what happens.
yeah.
Love to see we're in the E. Love to get another interview with Jade, but
Mhm.
I think my that contact at AEW about to be gone, so I'm gonna have to brush
Uh-huh.
it up with the WWE eventually.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, man. Till next time.
Yes, sir. That's is it. It's another episode. This is the best of both worlds of wrestling podcast. Um, gonna aim to see you again next week.
Yeah, man, we're gonna make it happen.
Yeah, and
I'll be
until
good for
then,
it.
chin up, tits out,
Watch out for
and
the
watch for the
shoes.
shoes.